The alarm blares. You roll over. What's the very first thing you reach for? For millions, maybe even billions of us, it isn't a glass of water or a loved one. It is a small, glowing rectangle of glass and metal. The smartphone. We tell ourselves it's just to check the time, or to turn off the alarm. But then, a notification catches our eye. A new email, a breaking news alert, a friend's post from last night. Before we have even fully registered that a new day has begun, our minds are already somewhere else, pulled into a digital stream designed to hold our attention captive. It feels harmless, it feels necessary. But is it a choice, or a compulsion? This seemingly innocent morning ritual has become a universal habit, a non-negotiable step in starting the day. We are tethered to these devices in a way we have never been tethered to any object in human history. Think about the brief, sharp panic you feel when you can't find your phone. It's more than just inconvenience. For many, it's a jolt of genuine anxiety, a feeling of being disconnected and incomplete. This feeling is a clue. It hints at a deeper relationship, one that skirts the line between utility and dependence. We have invited these tools into our most private spaces, our bedrooms, our pockets, our lives, and now they are demanding more from us than we ever intended to give. When we hear the word addiction, our minds often conjure stark, dramatic images. We think of substance abuse, lives spiraling out of control, heroin, alcohol. This is the clinical, severe end of the spectrum. It is a devastating reality for many. In scientific terms, addiction is a neuropsychological disorder characterized by a persistent and intense urge to engage in certain behaviors, often driven by a rewarding stimulus despite substantial harm. It's about losing the ability to choose freely, but in everyday life the word is softer and more relatable. We're addicted to a new TV series, a type of coffee, a challenging video game. The core link between clinical and casual is compulsion, the feeling that you have to do it. Dr. Nita Farahani says the line gets blurry when behavior compromises our agency, whether a drug alters decision-making or a social feed tricks you into endless scrolling. The result is diminished control. Loss of autonomy defines addiction regardless of the object. Think of addiction as a spectrum. It's a continuum of craving. We all sit somewhere on it. The question, not if, but where. A broader definition helps us see our behaviors with honesty and less stigma. It opens the door to recognizing patterns we'd call harmless quirks. Let's walk along the spectrum of addiction, starting with the most severe and obvious examples: opioids, methamphetamine, alcohol. These are addictions with profound and immediate physiological consequences. They physically change the brain's structure and chemistry, creating an overwhelming biological demand. The compulsion can override basic survival instincts, health, relationships, responsibilities. The harm is undeniable and often catastrophic, requiring intensive medical and psychological intervention. Moving along, we encounter behavioral addictions like gambling disorder. The addiction isn't to a chemical you ingest, but to an activity. The thrill of the win, the risk, the chance, create a powerful psychological high. The brain's reward system is activated much the same way as with drugs. People keep betting money they don't have, chasing losses, sacrificing finances, jobs, and trust. Now we enter the gray area. Think about sugar. While not classified the same way, countless people feel powerless, intense cravings, compulsive consumption, irritability when they try to stop. The food industry designs products to hit a bliss point of sugar, salt, and fat, engineering foods to be as irresistible as possible. Is it a lack of willpower, or a carefully manufactured compulsion? Finally, the most widespread addictions are digital devices and social media platforms. The like button, the endless scroll, the notification alert, social validation and novelty on an unpredictable schedule. This is the digital equivalent of a slot machine. Each scroll is a pull of the lever. Will you see something amazing? Will someone have validated your post? This system keeps us compulsively checking, spending hours in a space built to be addictive. The harm isn't immediate, but it's a slow erosion of our focus, our real-world connections, and our mental well-being. It has been engineered this way: intermittent variable rewards. Every notification, every like, every new piece of content is a potential reward, a little hit of dopamine our brains crave. At the heart of every addiction, from the most severe to the most subtle, lies the reward system. When we do what's good for us, the brain releases dopamine, the chemical of motivation and anticipation. It tells your brain, "That was great, remember it, do it again." A powerful learning loop. Addictive substances and behaviors hijack this system with massive unnatural dopamine spikes. A drug like cocaine can trigger dopamine many times greater than natural rewards. The brain immediately reorders priorities around getting more. Over time, the brain adapts, reducing receptors and natural dopamine. Now more is needed just to feel normal. Natural rewards feel dull. Dr. Anna Lemke's pleasure-pain balance. Pleasure tips the scale and the brain counters, often tipping into pain after the high. With frequent high dopamine hits, the correction grows stronger. The neutral set point shifts toward pain. Soon you're not chasing joy, you're escaping discomfort. It's relief, not pleasure. The same principle in milder form fuels our digital compulsions. Dr. Lemke's advice: reset the balance with abstinence, a dopamine fast. Step away for a day, a week, a month, let the brain restore balance. It will be uncomfortable at first, but over time the brain readapts. The scale levels out. Natural rewards feel pleasurable again. Sarah considered herself a disciplined person, successful, dedicated, proud of her focus. After putting her kids to bed, she'd unwind, maybe read a book, maybe one episode. But first, a quick check of her phone. A 5-minute scan morphs into an hour-long hypnotic scroll. Perfect vacations, home renovations, friends' highlight reels. She wasn't enjoying it, but she couldn't stop. Eyes strained, head fuzzy, guilt washing over her. She lost time she could have spent sleeping, reading, or connecting with her partner.
"You haven't looked up." A gentle comment struck a nerve. She realized she was phubbing. Physically present but mentally absent.
The device meant to connect isolated her from who mattered most. The design she was using was more powerful than her willpower in that moment. A battle engineered to lose. No dramatic rock bottom, just a slow theft of presence, focus, and relationships. Now it's time for honest self-reflection, without shame, with curiosity. Ask yourself the 3 C's of addiction: craving, compulsion, negative consequences. What do you crave? Does it lead to behavior you can't control? Do you keep going despite consequences? Sleep, productivity, money, relationships? Don't rely on willpower. Redesign your environment. Turn off non-essential notifications. Make your phone less interesting. Create barriers. Charge your phone outside the bedroom. Reclaim your mornings and nights. Make it easy to do what you want, like keeping a book on your pillow, and hard to do what you want to avoid. Have ready replacements for boredom or stress. Choose connection and movement over mindless scrolling. Before you pick up a device, ask, what am I trying to do right now? Have a clear purpose. When you're done, put it down. Freedom begins with a single, conscious choice. Made now, then again in the next moment.